match at Old Trafford, and Michael Atherton is very much in the driving seat. It's on his home ground, now England's longest-serving Test match captain. Best of all, from this point of view anyway, his team is still one up in this Ashes series. Atherton's local knowledge could be a key factor in this match, with so little between the teams and so much at stake. Close acquaintance with weather conditions and the likely performance of the Old Trafford pitch could prove quite decisive. 4 years ago, the Australians won this test with the help of Aussie wizardry Shane Warne. This time, though, on what's likely to be a slow pitch with some variable bounce, they'll be looking to their quicker bowlers to make an impact. Not least Glenn McGrath, the hero from Lords, Jason Gillespie, who returned to the side after injury, and who had a 7-wicket haul in the Australians' tour match to defeat Hampshire down at Southampton. We welcome the highlights of the opening day of this third Test match, the Cornwall Test match at Old Trafford, and the weather, once again, is going to play a key part. First of all, we have the England side not named till the morning of the match, that's the final 11. And Simon Hughes now is with the two skippers there, and just confirmation of those words from Mark Taylor and Michael Atherton. The England side, Atherton himself, Butcher, Stewart, Hussain, Thorpe, Crawley, Elan, Croft, Goff, Caddick and Dean Headley at the bottom of the list. And the Australians, Taylor, Elliott, Blewett, the two Wars, Bevan, Healy, Warne, Rifle, Gillespie and McGrath. The umpires for this game, George Sharp and Venkat, the former Indian spinner, Venkat Raghavan, and the third umpire, John Hampshire. Ranchan Madagala is the match referee. The Australians won the toss, and confirmation Jeffrey Boycott with his ideas on the many problems the batsmen will face in the opening session of this game. We join the action now in the first over. Darren Goff is the bowler, he's got it from the stretch end. Mark Taylor has taken strike, and no runs are on the board.
That's a useful delivery. That's the line, the ideal line to bowl for left-handers. That would test anyone. An awkward delivery from Mark Taylor early on. He's the man here. Dean Headley, brisk medium pace. With a bouncer here that was dead on target. Something straight. And Mark Taylor just took his eyes off the ball a little bit. That's Figueroa. That's going to go down very fine for 4 runs. Matthew Elliott will be great for enough, but won't really know how he did that. That's a very fine piece of catching. Dean Headley's first wicket in Test match cricket. Mark Taylor is the man out. Australia 9 for 1. That was a nice piece of bowling by Dean Headley. He's been persistent there on that line round about off stump. We've seen the ball seaming around.
Footwork is not very good by Mark Taylor. I know he's made a couple of hundreds, one in the Test match against Hampshire, but even so, he's still got a lot of work to do for me.
So Dean Headley has his first wicket in Test match cricket. Greg Blewett is the new batsman. Good firm shot right off the meat of the bat. And just enough power to overcome the outfield. Anything right up there is put away normally very powerfully. That was more timed than hit. I know it's been wet here, but as yet no evidence we're going to need the lifeguards. Certainly not at the back of the stands anyway.
Laid on, dragged it back on. There's not much pace in the pitch, and the bounce seems to be slow. Batsmen need to be careful of square cutting in conditions like this, and Blewett has dragged it back onto his stumps.
The dreaded death rattle
It's the last sound a batsman wants to hear, even when it's only a little clunk. It's not very pleasant.
Mark Waugh, fresh from 100 against Hampshire down in Southampton.
22. Oh, that was in the air and just wide of third slip. Nasser Hussain was the man who dived to his right, and he's a great sense of anticipation, fine pair of hands, but just that little bit too wide.
Oh, that's a bad ball. That's a shocker. Well, you've just bowled a good ball and a little bit of a streaky shot, and then you give him a shocker like that.
Well, he got his run-up wrong, didn't he? So seemed to be sprinting in, and he's not going to be a fearful sight to anybody, certainly of Mark Waugh's calibre, and then pulled it down. Could have hit that anywhere on the offside. Oh, well bowled, and that's out. Well, 2 fours and a thank you very much. Exactly what Mark Elam's been trying to do, I hope. Line length, and he gets that ball to run away. A little bit in the air, a little bit further off the pitch, and Alex Stewart takes a good catch. Now then, this is Steve Waugh, another of the world's outstanding batsmen. But certainly when 3 wickets go down, there's a little coughing and spluttering in any dressing room. And Australia's... Oh, well bowled. And that's 4 more runs. You see, it's worth playing without the third man, but one swings in, one goes straight on, find the edge of the bat. But the runs have been flooding. 15 in that over, and 15 for the cost of 1 wicket. Very difficult decisions out there.
Well, he squeezed that one away. Very strong area, traditionally for left-handers, square on the offside. Although this outfield is quite slow today, that had enough guts in it to reach the boundary. That's through that gap between the slips and the gully. And 4 more runs of this morning session. And runs coming from it. That's nicely clipped away. Beautifully timed, actually, by Steve Waugh. So Australia finish on a high note.
.36 from 91 balls, and he is in form. And he's got away with that. He played and missed it quite a number before lunch, but probably no more so than you do in a normal fiery first session of a test match. Just shouts there, and Elliott is far from happy, but it's immaterial. He still has to go. Started off as a moderate appeal, and finally became a fully fledged one, and Elliott had to go for 40, caught by Stewart off-heading.
That one goes off the seam and bounces quite a bit, and Elliott then rubbed his elbow. Maybe you see here with the ball bouncing just a touch, and it's just grazed the elbow there, so that's the reason why Matthew Elliott was a little disappointed.
85 for 4 at the moment. Elliott, quite obviously a little unlucky there. Michael Bevan is the new man in. It's a good stroke. Goff won't be too pleased with the actual delivery. Half volley outside leg stump. But Steve Waugh has put it away very well.
Through the gap, And we're seeing quite a few of those today. The ball racing away for 4 runs. Oh, well bowled. And that's out. Beautiful bowling. Completely opened up the left-hander. A little nick and a flying catch right to it. So no luck here again for Michael Bevan, who fought hard. But Dean Headley is not to be denied. Bowled really well. It's his 3rd wicket in his first Test match. And Michael Bevan goes 113 for 5.
Well, it was a good ball. I suppose any wicket's a good ball, but it's the length, it zips away. And Michael Bevan, I said all along, I don't think you can play at Test level getting chest on to deliveries like this. Look how he is with the feet pointing down the pitch, chest on, he's opened up. I think he's going to struggle all the time.
Ian Healy is the new batsman. 113 for 5. Australia, I must remind you, winning the toss, batting first.
Shot.
Fine shot. Darren Goff's going well to keep it up to Steve Waugh, but he needs a bit more protection on the drive now. Suddenly the ball is being fired off the middle of Steve Waugh's bat.
Yeah. 50 for Steve Waugh. And that's a very good innings. 50 from 73 deliveries. That's good scoring when conditions have favoured the bowler. That's a fine shot from Steve Waugh. That's exactly what we mean. And we say he's quiet and efficient. No undue flourish about the shot. Weight was in the right place. The bat just firmly met the ball. Absolutely square on. It was always... That's another good shot. That's a real strength for Steve Waugh on the leg stump. And the boundary bringing up Australia's 150. They're all asking, he's been given. Andy Caddick breaks his duck for the day. And there's an element of good fortune about it. The ball was aimed down the leg side. Ian Healy just trying to flick it away into the acres of space that there are down on that leg side. Just gets a thin nick through to Alex Stewart.
Alex Stewart got a good look at it. Healy is playing the ball well outside of his body, so the keeper gets a good look. He's well and truly on the move. That's a pretty good catch from Alex Stewart. Very good footwork. He's using the skip method where he brings his feet up together, and he's taken that well. That brings Shane Warne to the crease.
Oh, great shot. Steve Waugh really launching into that one. It wasn't quite the half volley that it was made to look. Steve Waugh just unleashed the bat through the line of the ball. That should be out, and is given. Everyone in the England camp seemed confident enough. Umpire Venkatragavan just took a couple of seconds, I think, to give Shane Warne the chance to get himself away from the crease voluntarily.
Mark Elam proving himself to be a real wicket taker.
So Australia 160 for 7. That's well timed again. That's been the most productive shot, I think, for Steve Waugh today. Everything up on his toes. He's clipped away with power and timing.
Safe. 4 over the top of the slips, and takes the Australians a little closer to that 200 mark now. Well, it was a good effort. It was perfectly timed by Steve Waugh. There's nothing difficult about the ball. A full toss on leg stump. To make it worse, not only was it a full toss outside leg stump, but it was also no ball. Well, it looked as though it was a nick from the waving of the arms. No signal from the umpire, so we can say that that did get a rather fine edge. Moved away off the seam from the right-hander. There's the edge, and it keeps going. Looked as though it got to Stewart a bit quicker than he thought. Oh dear, I don't think the bowler will be very happy about that. Not that it was a particularly good ball. Full toss on leg stump deserves to go for 4, but not quite under the body of the diving fielder.
His strengths.
But not so. Very, very good 100. When Steve Waugh looks back in years to come, I doubt if he'll find many better innings he's played than that one. Super knock, 100 out of 223. Got him. And that's what he's trying to do with the other one. And Darren Goff has sneaked the Yorker through there. Very well bowled. Good partnership, and Rifle has done a great job for Australia.
Well, it's a magnificent delivery, but I reckon that the one before the attempted Yorker, where Rifle hit his own foot and caused himself a bit of pain, I reckon that did the damage. And then Goff bowled him another one a couple of balls later, further over at off stump, and it was right in the slot, an absolute beauty.
230 for 8. Into the 75th over now. And 103 for Steve Waugh.
It's a crashing shot. No chance of cutting that off. And one of the rare opportunities, in fact the first opportunity really this morning, that Steve Waugh has had a chance to get through this sort of shot. Oh, that's got it. That's all over now. Just a fraction slowing coming forward, Steve Waugh. But that's a very useful delivery from Darren Goff that ends a very fine innings. He hadn't really had time to get into his stride this morning.
Just a touch from the inside edge there. Darren Goff getting the leg absolutely right to Steve Waugh. Just moving back a touch off the seam, then inside edge onto pad and knocking middle stump out of the ground.
Glenn McGrath is there now, Australia's last man. That is out. So straight away Dean Headley picks up the wicket. He nearly got the ball before. Thick outside edge, comfortably taken by Alex Stewart. That's his sixth catch of the innings. And Dean Headley's 4th wicket of the innings on his Test match debut.
Well, that's quite a good effort from the Australians in the end. 235. They'd have certainly liked 250, but they'll settle for that. Steve Waugh after 108, and a good performance also from England this morning. They bowled very straight, kept at the Australian batsmen, picked up the last couple of wickets there quite cheaply, and the outstanding bowlers remained Goff and Headley. 21 over 7 maidens and 3 for 52 for Goff. And Headley, He made a very good debut yesterday and continued that this morning, finishing up with 4 for 72, and they were the only bowlers used. Carrick 1 and Elam 2 wickets from yesterday. We join play now in the England reply. It's the second over. Paul Rifle is the bowler. He's bowling to Michael Atherton, the England skipper, and 2 runs are on the board.
That's a good shot. That's played with the bat absolutely straight. That's the big difference.
Well, it looks out. It is out. After a real stalemate out there, Glenn McGrath's done the trick for Australia. And it was a short ball this time. Now Michael Atherton solid in defence. McGrath regular on a length on off stump. Suddenly flicks through Court Healy, Bull McGrath for 5, 8 for 1. First wicket down for 8 runs. And that brings Alex Stewart to the crease.
That's a cracking stroke from Alex Stewart to start with. The ball wasn't all that short, and he just hit straight through it.
Was hit back in the air. Warren threw out a left hand. Was never going to catch it. I think mid-off felt that he was going to get there pretty comfortably.
Land all that far short of the slips.
Mark Butcher has that habit of just bringing the bat across the line a little bit. Might have helped him to guide it to ground rather than...
Well, that races away, slips through the fielder's cordon. Almost knocked Mark Taylor over there, and Glenn McGrath shakes the head. An excellent over bowled round the wicket of the left-hander, caused problems to Butcher in terms of line and length. Oh, that's the gap Alex Stewart's been looking for. Good chase, wonderful stop. Wonderful fielding, Michael Bevan, and he earns the applause of his side there.
He is a very gifted fielder. Not many people could run as fast as him after this ball. And then when the ball is just going to beat him to the boundary, he gets his wonderful sliding, quickly gets up.
He gets it through. Still, that's the challenge. Very well played by Butcher. Played it on merit. Not badly bowled, slightly over-pitched.
Well, they're trying all they know, Australia, and they haven't bowled badly at all. They bowled quite well, but so far it's been England's day.
That's a fine shot from Mark Butcher. It just confirms what a good player he is and what a courageous player. He's got himself into position very quickly for that, and 4 runs.
Well, that's well timed. Purchase now. Well, something's happened there, and that's the end of Alex Stewart. It's taken a certain amount of patience, and it's taken Shane Warne to produce something which Alex Stewart could do nothing about, or very little about. And it was a very good, sharp catch by the Australian captain, Mark Taylor.
Yes, that one seemed to spin a little quicker than the rest, perhaps coming out of the footwork, out of the foot marks, and Alex Stewart looking to turn it on the onside. That's a good catch from Mark Taylor. When the batsmen are looking to force on the onside, quite often you get a late look at it at first slip, But Taylor's done well there. So Shane Warne getting the breakthrough, one that Australia badly needed.
It brings Nasser Hussain now out to the crease. He arrives there with the score on 74 for 2. It's been slowest progress.
Oh, that's a good shot. Drifted out into the rough. It didn't matter to Butcher. He gave it the same treatment.
Feel confident that he can play at this level.
Good shot. Nice stroke. Judged the bounce of the ball, or rather the lack of it, very well. And it was a beautiful stroke. Beautifully played. He plays that with a straight back sweep very, very effectively. Very rare for him to miss that. Warren was going at him, trying to bowl him behind his pads. Exactly where he wants all the time. Oh, well. What a piece of work from Healy. It looked for the naked eye as though he's got him by a fraction. Just a question of what the third umpire says. That is simply brilliant.
After a very fine half century, hard worked, very good for the team. Really a full toss down the leg side. You look at when it goes past him, it's almost on a full toss. He misses it, stumbles over, balances, and he's a goner.
Now, Healy has only played 25 of them, compared with Alan Knott 34 and Rod Marsh 42. Healy has just gone to 100.
Got again. There's that lap sweep. And he's trying to bowl him out, but he's a very good player of that shot, is Nasser Hussain.
That's 98 for 3. Michael Bevan is bowling in the new. Taylor's shouting, they all are, and so is umpire Venkat. Thorpe is, if I say reluctant to go, then that would be to understate the position. Well, there have been two great decisions in this match so far, and one was George Sharp, and the other one we've just seen was Venkat. That's come off the bottom edge onto the pad and straight to Mark Taylor. John Crawley is the new batsman. Well, that's the one he drops in occasionally, halfway down the pitch. Sometimes the batsmen pick it, sometimes they don't.
Oh, brilliantly bowled. Yeah, he's given him this time. Nasser Hussain completely deceived, beaten in the flight, beaten off the pitch. And this is what looks to be Shane Warne at something near his best. It's the best we've seen him bowl in the series.
Well, Hussain made just one mistake there. He tried to follow the ball. Once he saw it spinning a long way, it was time to bail out. So Shane Warne now level with Graham McKenzie. 246 test wickets, and he's got a lot of confidence from this sharp turn.
Well, it's 110 now for 5, and the advantage really has swung now. That could be it. Everyone celebrating once again. It just takes a while. Umpire Venkatragavan always gives the batsman the chance to do his own walking, but it's a very similar way of dismissal to the fashion in which Nasser Hussain went just a few minutes ago. And John Crawley, who is one of the players that you would back to read Shane Warne as well as any in this England side, has been well beaten here. It was A very confident appeal, no doubt about that. Ian Healy again.
That'll be 4. No third man. McGrath's going to take the risk of being put away by these two, one middle order player and the other one a late order player. And just the sort of day with blue sky and sunshine that we like to see the Impatiens and the Lobelias. 2 marigolds in there too, I think. But very nice sight here at Old Trafford. A few more Lobelias in the crowd. Wow, what a good catch. There's been some good out cricket from the Australians today. Steve Waugh, the man who made the 100, has pulled off the catch that's dismissed Robert Croft. And England now 122 for 7.
Well, not a shot for the memory bank, this. I don't look at it. It wasn't full enough to be playing a sort of stand-up off drive. It was a nice catch in the end, but you have to question the wisdom of the shot.
Darren Gough is the new batsman. I don't think he'll be allowing himself to be tied down. 122 for 7, and it's been a case of the Australians taking.
Again, you see, eventually you're gonna go, because he's never playing at the ball. A little bit quicker, a little bit fuller. And I think that's a pretty good decision in the end. He never really played at the ball.
Well, that, I reckon, is about as plumb as you'll see.
Andy Caddy, the new batsman.
End of Warne's over. Good performance. 5 for 32 in 19 overs. And when he goes from 248 to 249, I can tell you there'll be some loud applause from this direction, because he is the best young leg spin bowler I've ever seen. Good stroke for 4. It's just what's needed by England. They were 74 for 1, and now they're 131 for.
That'll do. It was short, it was a fast lifting ball, but the top edge, the thicker variety, has served Elam well. There's a great cheer because the 150 comes up for England, 151 for 8.
Done is give 3 more than single, but he's kept Elam on strike. There's one more run added to take as though there might be some fun out there again today, and we're going to join it with the 4th ball of the first over. Shane Warne is the bowler, and Andrew Caddick is taking strike. No runs added to the overnight score.
Yeah. Well, it's been taken, and Andy Caddick is out. Well, a poor start for England. It's taken 4 balls this morning for Shane Warne to add to his tally. Mark Waugh was the catcher at Silly Point after a bit of a juggling effort. And that's turned out of the footmarks, a long way outside leg stump. Back of the bat almost from Andy Caddick. But Andy Caddick's resistance over in a trice this morning. Caught M. Waugh, bowl Warne for 15, 161 for 8, becomes 161 for 9. 1 over of the day bowled, 1 wicket gone. Shane Warne now has 249 Test match wickets. That's taken him 1 ahead of Richie Bennett, so now he's the most successful Australian spinner of all time. Oh, that's all over. Beautifully bowled by Glenn McGrath. The Yorker speared in there. Dean Headley's dead bat, no use this time. Comprehensively yorked by Glenn McGrath. The Australians have wrapped it up in a real hurry this morning. England only allowed to add 1 run to their overnight total.
Well, a very disappointing innings from yesterday and this morning for England. And terrific performance by Shane Warne.
Indeed it was, and Warne and McGrath have dominated that card there. Elam remained 24 not out and couldn't get enough of the strike to push it along, and the batsman couldn't stay with him on this morning. 162 all out, and the bowling figures for Australia, the final figures: Warne 30 overs, 14 maidens, 6 for 48, absolutely magnificent, and he had all the England batsmen under his spell. After the two innings, completed almost in 2 days, just a few minutes more than that, Australia 235, England 162, with those outstanding bowling figures there for Warne and McGrath. England 73 runs behind, and we join the Australian innings now with the first ball. Darren Gough is the bowler, Matthew Elliott is the man taking strike.
Straight away, Matthew Elliott is off the mark, pushing this one onto the leg side. Plenty of space out there. Just two men positioned on the leg side for the left-hander. Has got him. Mark Taylor's gone. Second ball. Dean Headley enjoying himself here. 4 in the first innings, 1 straight away now in the second innings. A poor game for Mark Taylor, at least as an opening batsman. Caught by Mark Butcher, very sharp catch, flew pretty quickly to second slip. A bit of extra bounce in that one, and Mark Butcher very sharply onto it there.
Dismissed by Dean Headley, and it's been Headley who's got the left-handers so far in this match. He got all 3 of them in the first innings, and now he's added a 4th left-handed scalp.
Couldn't quite get that, and the man at deep fine leg will just about cut it off. Headley the hero this morning already.
Well, I'm pleased to see that shot from Matthew Elliott. He is a natural hooker and puller. He plays the shot pretty well, as you can see there. He drags it straight down to ground, and I think he's going to get himself into more trouble by thinking about not playing it rather than doing what.
A nice shot from Greg Blewett. Lovely stroke down the ground. Footwork excellent and beautifully timed.
Oh, well caught, it's claimed, and umpire Venkatragavan consults with the square leg umpire, that's George Sharp. England were very positive in their reaction, and that's the outside edge that I say Croft bowls for. Well, it'll be very difficult for the umpire to adjudicate, but up goes the finger. And that represents a good catch and a very good bit of bowling. It was the emphasis on the extra flight and loop that Croft's been trying to achieve.
Well, you've got to find out whether it bounced. It's whether it bounced here, the first one. Now, did that touch the ground in his fingers?
Either he jammed his fingers underneath it, or he was unaware that the ball touched the ground. Very difficult to adjudicate. That's a fine shot. Beautiful timing. Absolutely no effort. That's a shot of a class player. And with Croft just the 3 fielders on the onside, he's pushed to stop a shot like that. Caught. Butcher. Just look at Headley. My word, Headley whips the ball across those left-handers, and doesn't Butcher catch them well.
I was saying just a few minutes ago, when he does get one to go, Headley, he goes within himself and then he gets one to really nip through off the seam. Quite nice height, you see. A lot of balls have kept down a bit, but he's a tall man and he does nip onto the batsman much quicker. He's a good bowler.
Steve Waugh is the new batsman. He's done a terrific amount of work so far, more work to be done. It's in the gap. Crawley's the man chasing. And the outfielders, just that touch quicker today. Good stop. Three runs. It's a good stop. I marvel at the way that fielders these days just hurtle themselves at the perimeter advertising. And Croft bowls to it, which is not the place to bowl to these boys. And that's 4 runs. Just needs the encouragement now. Yes, he's got a bowl across to the off stump as before. Runs this time and square behind on the offside. And a long chase out there. They've run 3. They'll look for 4. It's 3 runs, quite an expensive over from Robert Croft. 7 runs off the over, and I think that he has to be handled with care and attention by the England captain.
That's a great shot. No need at all for Steve Waugh to run.
Well, he's got away to a terrific start, Steve Waugh. Raced to 16 from just 15 deliveries. Jason Gillespie, who's had a few blisters on tour, taking the opportunity to perhaps get a bit of sun on them and harden the feet up. Perhaps also, I think, helps to have the blood drain back down the legs occasionally.
There's a chase on here for Andy Caddick. 3 runs to Mark Waugh. Oh, nicely played. It's whipped away. And Andy Caddick's chase this time is just to make sure the ball gets back from the edge of the ground to Darren Goff's hands. 8 off the over. So disappointment there for England's captain Michael Atherton, having brought Darren Goff back into the attack. Well, they're asking the question. I'm sure that's not come off glove. Worth asking maybe, you never know, but the impression from here was it just came off the shoulder. That's pretty glorious. He certainly wasn't hurried that time, just laid back. And when you're bowling at either of these Waugh twins, anything offline is in danger of going to the boundary.
There you are, away he goes. He's not long before he's going over the top. He's so much confidence against off spinners.
It's a different game, and this is where the skill of the captain and the bowler really come into it. Nothing wrong with the ball. It was reasonably well bowled, but a super shot. Great shot. He got into such a fine position there. You see the moment the ball left Robert Croft's hands, Mark Waugh was getting into the position to play that beautiful square drive. That's a fine shot. No third man, as we say, but this time right off the middle of the bat, leaning back, taking his time. And the 100 comes up. 102 for 3.
That's found the gap very nicely indeed. Well, Steve Waugh trying to emulate Mark in playing shot for shot, matching shot for shot here. And this one guided actually quite easily down to that vacant third man. Well, for the first time in this innings, Mark Waugh plays that pull shot and plays it very effectively. That's a better shot. And you'll see the result this time. 4 becomes 6. Very similar length, very similar shot. This one hit even more cleanly at the middle of the bat. And takes Mark Waugh past the 50 mark.
Well, there's Steve Waugh receiving ice pack treatment. That's because of the blows he took on his thumb in the first innings, and also the original injury which was sustained against Devon Malcolm.
Oil ball, and Elam does it. A little bit quicker. I want to come back a bit because jackknifed Mark Waugh. And a huge cheer around Old Trafford. As much of relief as of success.
Really came back. Almost if he was looking to hit off the back, then he changed his mind and he was a little bit late as the ball nipped back at him. Giving himself room, then it nipped back. Probably done a little bit for pace, and it nipped on.
Michael Bevan. Well bowled, Mark Elam. Well batted, Mark Waugh. Bowled Elam.
Oh dear. Well, Headley has got him. That's good bowling. He's pinned him with one that's round about leg stump, and Bevan hasn't been able to cope with it. A very disconsolate figure going off the field, but Headley has broken through again. Now we've got a game on our hands.
Well, that's a perfect score for Dean Headley. He's got 6 out of 6 with the left-handers, which is an amazing performance.
5 wickets down now, only 132 on the board, and this is some contest. There's no third man, and that'll go for 4, even though it wasn't timed perfectly. It was a slower ball, and Steve Waugh waited on it. And it's Steve Waugh's 50. A century and a 50. It's correct that batting conditions are easier today, but there's still a bit there for that regard. Well, that's a very good hit. It's short of the ropes and absolutely dead straight down the ground. Down. Difficult, but catchable, I think we'll see in the replay. Always difficult if you've got to go forward. Don't think he had to go sideways as well.
So I think Healy hitting pad and ball. Ball just swinging back into him and travelling a good 20 metres.
Into the gap, and that races away for 4 runs. A perfectly good shot by Ian Healy for 4 runs.
Leaving him outside off stump.
cracking shot. Well, he moved his line across to outside off stump. What a fine shot that was by Ian Healy.
Catch it, Smith!
And he's got that away from the fieldsman. For one moment they were shouting for the catch as they saw it go in the air, but it was well away from Andrew Carrick as it turned out.
Well, Healy is one man who doesn't like to be tied down for very long at all, and he'll generally do something about it.
It's a good stroke. Wasn't the best of balls from Elam. Gave Ian Healy a bit of room, and Healy has been playing in excellent fashion. He's been playing well defensively, and then strokes like this. Robert Croft is the bowler. Healy's taking strike.
Catch it, Butch!
Must be out. Yes. Healy on 47 has tried to hit Croft over the top. And Mark Butcher has taken the catch at mid-wicket. I don't think Healy will be all that pleased about that, but it may have had something to do with the fact that no runs were coming at the other end.
Good catch taken by Mark Butcher. Ball was hit very hard.
Shane Warne is the new batsman. Well, that's a start for Warne. He's announced his intentions fairly quickly. He's only just had time to say 2 legs, please, umpire. And the next thing is he smashed it away over square leg.
That's a nice shot, though. That's nicely timed. It's a classic late cut. The advantage for Steve Waugh there is you don't need any power.
Oh, short, and he's
Oh, that's been well hit. Beautifully hit. 6 runs. Yeah, nicely put. Less of the old. Dean Headley straying in line here. Late in the day, just maybe a fraction tired. Maybe that arm's just getting a little bit lower. And this first ball disappears. All along the ground, nicely played. 4 runs to Shane Warne.
Now, in the first over, is the 3rd ball. Dean Headley is the bowler. Steve Waugh is taking strike. Good stroke from Waugh. Waugh, who was concentrating more on survival yesterday with his bad hand, allowed Warne to dominate, which he did very well. And just started off nicely again this morning. A good shot. And Waugh hasn't moved a muscle. Didn't even take a step towards running there. Must have come right off the meat of the bat. Would have been a lovely feel. Now that's a good shot. We'll need the 3rd umpire there. Umpire Venkat is already talking on his walkie-talkie, he's mobile. and they will want to know precisely what happened there. And umpire Venkat will realise very quickly that they ran 4 anyway. Pushing up towards a half century here, and a very good one too it will be if eventually reaches it.
Well, he's a dangerous player. Like Ian Healy, he plays shots, you're never quite sure where to put the fielders. He certainly doesn't hang around. That's a very good hit again. Everything going well for Australia. It doesn't help England's cause, particularly the early opening batsmen, when they see the ball flying around.
Well, that's a good shot, and it's a very, very good half century for Shane Warne. He's made one previously, but this is a good effort, and exactly what Mark Taylor and Steve Waugh, for that matter, would have wanted out there this morning. Nice performance. And that's all we'll see from Shane Warne. That was quite a nasty delivery from Caddick. It was only a loosener, and it took off from just short of a good length. That won't fill the early batsman for England with a great deal of confidence. Caddick is a very tall man, might have got an extra bit of bounce there.
Really took off. May have just gone away a little bit, perhaps touched the glove on the way through. Alex Stewart's had a pretty profitable match, but Shane Warne can be happy with that. Good half century to go with his 6 wickets. He's had a good match, but I'm sure he'll be thinking it's far from finished.
That's the way it looks now, with that first wicket down this morning. Warne caught Stewart bowled Caddick 53. 298 for 7. Ford a rifle. Steve Waugh will reckon he could have done with those.
Boundary brings up to 300. Fortuitous for Paul Rifle. Only just out of...
And there it is. Loud applause round the ground and long chase to the fielder. Steve Waugh eases his way through to a 2nd century in the match. Simple acknowledgement, a rather shy look toward the ground, mops the brow. And the shake of the hand. But the demeanour scarcely reflects the magnitude of the achievement here at Old Trafford. So, 2 centuries in an Ashes Test match. First player to score a century in both innings of an Ashes Test match is 1947. That was Arthur Morris and Dennis Compton.
Catch it.
Ouch. Well, that really hurt Butcher. Fielding a silly point in front of the bat there.
Yes, it's the last thing you need to do when you're going to have to bat for probably 5 sessions to save a Test match, or even contemplate trying to win it, to lose one of your opening.
Nice use of the feet. And Steve Waugh just getting underneath that one. Didn't quite hit it perfectly, but there's certainly enough bat on it. And Robert Croft posited over mid-wicket for 4. Now there is a man out there at deep cover. but even he can't get to that one.
This is a overcompensation ball here. He bowled it straight, got hit into the deep, so he's bowled it outside off stump with a bit of width, and it was a little bit full as well.
Now time for a change in the bowling at the Stretford end. Dean Headley invited once again to take the ball. That's out. Well, finally it all comes to an end. Good delivery from Dean Headley, just a little extra bounce once again. Has got that ability to find something in a pitch which seems to be playing quite placidly. And an almost involuntary stab at the ball from Steve Waugh. Just deflected it into the gloves of Alex Stewart. So good reward for Dean Headley. But no mistaking the man of the moment. Number 10 for Australia, Jason Gillespie. So the 8th wicket is down for 333. Just dropping short. Well, Nasser Hussain involved in that somewhat controversial dismissal earlier yesterday. But the catch that got rid of Greg Blewett, this one definitely didn't carry. You can see the table of those highest fourth innings winning totals. India West Indies 75-76. Some of those go back an awful long way, but basically
Reasonably close.
Andrew Caddick was putting in the short ones around there. Well, it could have been bat, but indeed it was. It wasn't all that far from Alex Stewart. 430 the lead. The man going back to deep backward square at the moment. Headley has used that field placing when he's using reverse swing, which is what he tried for there, but it was a little bit too straight. Certainly the ball slanted in from outside the off stump, but Jason Gillespie got it away very nicely. Croft is going to bowl, and it'll be one of the longest overs of off spinning you've seen for a while. Robert Croft is just pulling a few grass seeds out of the ball there, just cleaning a bit of dust off it. Well, he won't be too pleased about that. he was just jigging around there and having a bit of fun, if that's the correct terminology, with Paul Rifle. And it's cost him 4 runs.
So the Australians continue batting, and well, they'll certainly have enough runs by our estimation, though we've seen from Steve Waugh and others that they've certainly had a chance to play some shots out there, and it's been very difficult for the bowlers to get any sort of penetration.
It's just cleared Alex Stewart. Gone for 4 too. It was helped round again off the glove with just enough impetus to take it wide and over the head of the keeper. That's well struck. That's 2 or 3 bounces and over the boundary. It's wide mid-on. Fine shot, really, and it brings up the 50 partnership between these two. This has the feel of an end of innings over, but we'll have to wait and see. That's a very good shot. Dean Headley was positioned out there at deep mid-wicket. Caddick is behind square at square leg. And that one intentionally placed well between them and also hit very sweetly out of the meat of the bat.
Well, 4 more runs were added to take it along to 395 for 8. That's an outstanding scoreboard for Australia, with Steve Waugh making 116, and the tail really wagged. Ian Healy 47, Shane Warne 53, and Paul Rifle and Jason Gillespie, an excellent partnership there. Rifle 45 and Gillespie 28. 20 extras, 395 for 8 when the declaration came from Mark Taylor. Then Goff none for 62, Headley 4 for 104, 8 wickets for him in the match. Croft 2 for 105, Elam 1 for 41, Carrick 1 for 69. This is the state of play when England begin their second innings. The Australians 468 runs ahead, and only 2 teams have ever made over 400 in the 4th innings to win a test match. They're plenty ahead of England there, and we're going to join them now with 3 runs on the board. Jason Gillespie is the bowler, Mark Butcher is the man taking straight.
Likes to play the ball square, gets on top of it well this time. No great speed, but they run free. Well, he's clattered that away, absolutely clattered it.
Well, certainly it's a positive approach from England. That confidence.
Runs this time. Played well down, and that races away. That'll probably get to the boundary. The cheer tells the story.
That's gone very high and carried for 6. Well, Mike Latherton dismissed in the first innings playing the hook shot. The big difference here is, whereas it was a bit of glove first time round, this is meat of the bat. That's got him. That's kept low, straight enough. Jason Gillespie has broken through. That's the first England wicket to fall. It's the captain, Michael Atherton.
Yes, that ball only bouncing about half stump high, even though Atherton is a little bit off the ground as he's playing it. It's still well and truly below bail height, and Atherton a long way across. Absolutely no doubt about where that one was going to finish its journey.
England are 44 for 1. Oh, that's just what Shane Warne wanted. Alex Stewart all at sea. And the old adage has worked. One brings 2.
Stewart was looking for the leg break, and Shane Warne found the hole to take his 250th wicket, and he's got there pretty quickly. 55 test matches for Shane Warne to take his 250 test wickets.
That's got him. That was close enough for umpire Venkatragavan. And so Jason Gillespie having a good day this afternoon. The wickets of Mike Latherton and now Nasser Hussain, 2 of England's finest. I'm just wondering about that decision against Nasser Hussain. Now, I'll have a look from the stump camera. I just got a suspicion that's marginally outside our stump when it hits him. Very pleasant looking shot from Graham Thorpe. Three for him. That's gone high in the air. Will Glenn McGrath get there? Oh, yes. Well, he just made it. Well, in the end, that goes down as a fantastic catch. He had to make quite a lot of ground in from long leg. Mark Butcher got right underneath it. And in the end, Glenn McGrath took it right on the ground.
Well, I think this is the moment of truth for John Crawley, because he really needs some runs in this Test series.
Butcher gone for 28.
Well, it went like a flash into the gully.
A little bit of extra bounce on this occasion for Gillespie, and because Crawley tries to play it with the straight bat, it's a very difficult shot to keep down with the straight bat. Much easier to hit the horizontal bat shot, get over the top of it. Went in the air, went very quickly.
Better placed, nicely timed too. And that really is racing away to the mid-wicket boundary. Much better stroke. Good shot. Well placed. Is he going to make it? It does. It's Mark Waugh out there. It looked for a moment as if there wasn't quite enough strength.
He's lucky he didn't lose his front teeth.
And that's it. It was wide, it was quicker, might have been a top spinner, and Thorpe so caged in there and so much concerned about patting away, suddenly flashes the bat at it, tries to play a shot, and nicks it to the keeper. .84 for 5, and I think that Mark Taylor's theory about dispiriting the opposition by batting for an extraordinarily long time may have a bit of merit.
That's beautifully played though. That was right up there for hitting. John Crawley made no mistake. Just a little ray of sunshine as far as England are concerned. Full toss, not quite such a problem though, and that's been nicely timed. Full toss is welcomed and dispatched for 4.
Another good shot. Just about 1 and over. There's a loose one from Michael Bevan. He's bowled some cracking deliveries as well. It's a fine stroke. Nicely timed and beautifully placed. For John Crawley. Right, more added to take a longer do out there. We're going to join play in the first over. It's the third ball. Shane Warner's the bowler, and John Crawley is taking strike.
Tossed high, that's a full toss and put away nicely by John Crawley. First boundary of the morning, the first runs of the morning, and they take this partnership now up to 50. going to make driving somewhat hazardous. That's nicely timed. Lovely throw from Glenn McGrath. Ghosts from the past. Oh, good shot. Now that was the genuine half volley, and it was beautifully put away.
It was a lovely, juicy half volley, but you can only put it away from a wrist spinner if you have confidence in which way it's going to.
Full toss. Pretty quick one. And 4 runs.
I think that's what he's been good at, John Crawley. It is a difficult situation with the wrist spinners on this drying pitch, but he's put the bad ball away. And that's good batting.
Nicely bowled by Glenn McGrath, just trying to get one of those in-swinging Yorkers right up there. And again, somewhat like Steve Waugh was saying about Dean Headley, the pace of Glenn McGrath is something not always easy to judge on television. He's got that ball to swing back in.
Oh, that's out. Beautifully caught. Wonderful catch by Ian Healy. The ball was going downwards into the ground. He got a glove just underneath it. And so Glenn McGrath removes Mark Elam. Well, maybe looking with disbelief, but I'm afraid the ball went sweetly into the glove.
Very good line from Glenn McGrath. Made the batsman play and perhaps just not quite covering off stump as well as he should. Excellent catch from Ian Healy. We talk about the 2 W's and the impact they've had on this game, Steve Waugh and Shane Warne. Ian Healy is not far behind them. He's done some terrific things for Australia in this match, and that was one of them.
Robert Croft is the incoming batsman. 158 for 6. John Crawley there, and Robert Croft with a lot to prove. Australia have a very simple formula at the moment for Robert Croft. Hit him on the head, and then he plays a daft shot. Well, there you are. That's it. The short ball again. No sort of shot. Simple catch.
It's obviously Croft getting himself in a bit of a tangle against that short pitch delivery. And what happened, he finished up playing with the bat at an angle that meant that the ball could only possibly go up in the air, and lobbed a simple catch to Paul Rifle.
Great roar for the Yorkshire entertainer, Darren Gough. 170 for 7.
That's a question. Oh, and he's gone. Just pushing back onto his stumps. And as has often happened in this innings, Crawley, in his back stride, has got very, very close to the stumps. This time, he has just clipped them. And he's made 83 out of 151. Lovely ovation.
I thought he played very well. I thought he deserved 100. He was under tremendous pressure. No runs in the series. Another failure, and his place for the next Test match at Headingley would have been in jeopardy. It was a really harsh way to get out. He played the ball quite nicely, actually.
Andrew Caddick is the new batsman. 177 for 8 now. Crawley 83. Only 2 other double-figure scores. Good shot. Beautiful stroke for 4. If they run hard. It's a good shot. No outfield, and that's a good hit. Forward Goff.
Well, I think Darren Goff has to play the odd shot or two. The way he played in the first innings is not his way. Certainly wasn't successful, just sticking the bat behind the pad.
That's the reverse swing, and it means that Goff has to get into reverse and make his way to the pavilion.
Well, there's not a lot wrong with the idea. There's no mid-on, so there's a big gap there. Take it sort of slightly outside to the ball, to the onside, except for the fact that he didn't get his foot over there and he missed it.
188 for 9. Good shot. He's got that pretty much off the meat of the bat.
Well, I was saying earlier about Andy Caddick, when he ducked into that bounce, it was a bit of a surprise because he's no mug with the bat. It's obviously a little soul destroying for him to be batting here when not much chance of saving the game. But he can play. He's a pretty good performer. I've seen him play very well. All the tail-enders played as well as him. They do pretty good. 200 up for England. Brings the applause.
And that is out. Warner's got a wicket this morning. Makes him 3 for the innings. The Australians have won. And the Test series is squared. The Ashes battle is alive again. Well, England just made the 200 mark there. That innings of John Crawley's, starting off not out overnight, he's gone on to 83 there. And it was a top-class performance. One that he may have needed, but certainly confirms him as a high-class player at this level. 83 for him and 17 for Andrew Caddick at the end when all was lost. Some lusty blows there. And he looks as though he can bat a bit at Test match level down the order. 20 extras, 200 all out for England. The bowling figures for Australia. It was Glenn McGrath who came back there, 4 for 46, having had no wickets at the start. Gillespie didn't bowl today. It was just McGrath and Warne. Warne finishing with 3 for 63 from 30.4 overs and 8 maidens and 9 wickets for him in the match. He's perhaps not absolutely back to his best, but certainly he's not far off it. And the situation, that's the way it all happened. 235 and 395 for 8, 162 all out and 200 all out. Australia won by 268 runs. The series is level at 1 all, and in this particular game, the man of the match, the Cornhill player of the game, was Stephen Waugh. Before we talk to Stephen Waugh, though, or before David Gower does, here he is now with the 2 skippers, Mark Taylor. Grave decision at the start of the game that Australia would bat on a pitch where there was likely to be some assistance for the bowlers. It turned out all right in the end.